Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the 2022 Australian Men's and Mixed Netball National Championships, coming to you live here from the Netball SA Stadium in Adelaide. We are currently on Court 2 for this men's reserves match between Victoria and Queensland. Looking forward to this one. Joining me in commentary at some stage in the near future will be Matthew Blomley on his way back to the courts. And looking forward to this fantastic match, Queensland and Victoria, previously with a lot of history in the men's reserve division or in any of the men's divisions. There with Victoria getting us underway. Our starting lineups will be brought to you fairly shortly. In goal shooter for Queensland, we have Zach Dunfrey. In goal attack is Luke Canneran. In wing attack, Andrew Williams. Centre is Jonathan Jagger. In wing defence, we have Corey Rob Gwynn. Goal defence is Caleb Meredith, a former Opens player himself and Sonics representative with me. And in goalkeeper as well is James Schmar. For Victoria, in goal shooter is Josh Smith. Goal attack there is... sorry, can't see. It is Steve McCallum. In wing attack, we have Wade Aitken. Centre is James Robertson and the captain. Wing defence, Jake Dambrowskis. In goal defence, Simon Cartwright. And goalkeeper, the young Danny Lote, heading up the back for Victoria in this game in the men's reserve division. This is the final round of the men's reserves division. Victoria currently sitting in second spot on the ladder with 7 wins of their 9 games, losing both their games so far to New South Wales. Queensland have won 4 of their 9 so far and will be looking to try and take some momentum into the final round tomorrow. Good start for Victoria, scoring this one there, but Queensland now with the centre pass.
These are always tough battles between Queensland and Victoria in the reserves grade. They've played off in numerous grand finals over the past decade.
1-goal victories, really?
Some of them have been back and forth 1-goal victories. Mostly it's been Victoria for the most part, and the most recent championship, Victoria were able to push it out a little bit more, but it had been a very close match for the majority of that. I did play in that one myself as my last championships, but these ones are always tough.
Correct. Now, they have met once in the rounds so far, just checking the result with this one, but it was Victoria that was victorious. Nice little, I guess, pun there. So Victoria was victorious there, 62-50 in the last game. So let's see what it is. I think Victoria will have something a little bit to prove. I did watch part of their game this morning against New South Wales where they dropped it, I think, by 3. But we'll be looking to work on stuff as they move forward into the finals. Queensland, on the other hand, I think will have something to prove going into the 4th, 5th playoff, so they get the opportunity to have the possibility of making the grand final. Most likely, Queensland, I think, will either play possibly the winner of the game that's on behind us at the moment. It is between Tasmania and ACT. They will be looking to finish in that 5th spot to play against Queensland first up tomorrow. So Matthew, if you were the coach of Queensland, would you be out for a win or would you be out to try and refresh what it is
at this point in time? I'm a degree of play management. A win's always nice, I think, is the way of looking at it at this stage in the week. You are wanting to get players through, and depending in their case, if they're working more of a starting 7 versus a full bench operation, that's really going to affect how you're playing the game. I think if you can rotate your players through, getting some legs in your leading intervals, you still want people having that match fitness, so the mental aspect of the game. But I'll be going for a win, but not at all costs.
Yeah, I think you're possibly right with that one, especially knowing that you're going to finish in the same spot. Doesn't matter what the result is, especially for both teams. It's not going to make too much of a difference. Victoria do still have the possibility of finishing in first place pending the result on the first court between New South Wales and South Australia. I guess it could make a difference.
Could make a little bit of a difference for them. Could make a little bit of a difference for them. Apologies, I had to move my microphone briefly to have a sip of my tea. Could make a slight difference, but I think psychologically it's not necessarily that big a deal, but it will affect, obviously, who you play in finals as well.
Agreed.
Which, that's where the biggest effect can be, is the matchup.
That's right. There is a minor chance that South Australia could get the win on the other court on New South Wales, which would then bring them level with Victoria. But it does look like Victoria have a far superior percentage. So I would probably say that they're still going to finish in that second position as well. Nice little start here from Queensland. Great hold in the circle, but just not able to finish it off. And Danny Lotes with that ball there. Now, Zach Dunphy finishes that one off, puts the ball through the ring, and Queensland with the centre pass leading 4-3 in the first quarter.
One of the great things with the Open Reserves division that we are watching today is seeing players who have played in the Open Men's division coming down as support and young ones coming through to become Open Men's players. And Queensland have done that well over the last few years. They've had players move from their reserves up into their Open side. And similarly, Victoria are very much in that position at the moment. You've seen a number of young ones, but we see the likes of James Robertson in centre, previous Victorian Open player. We've got Caleb Meredith, Victorian and Australian Opens player in goal defence. That experience is so vital to those younger ones coming through. And one of the things I get excited about in this division is that ability for seeing these young ones step up and become the Opens players that they're maybe not quite ready to, or someone that's a little bit, a couple of years older, maybe mid to late 20s, getting that opportunity because they've improved their netball in that spot.
Yeah, that is a byproduct probably of our sport. Some boys don't actually find the sport until they hit their early 20s and don't get the opportunities to develop their skills until they move into it. We can see that with Simon Cartwright, didn't start playing until he was early 20s and then has come along leaps and bounds, sitting fringe of the Victorian Open Men's team. We've had it right throughout lots of states, you know, even the New South Wales Open team now having Shane Clark in at goalkeeper.
Yeah,
like
a relatively much older player at the time, but incredible athlete.
Yep, Dan King, in the Victorian Open team, a product of the Victorian Reserves program as well. So lots of potential from the players that we're seeing out onto court and where they can go with their netball future. Fantastic pull out of the air from Zach Dunphy, and Queensland making that six goals apiece.
Yeah, this is what we would be expecting from a Queensland Victoria Reserves men's game, is very tough first quarter. One team may get a small margin, the other team's going to peg it back. They then may get another margin, but it's never going to be too much in this early stage in the game.
Yeah.
This division is renowned for not leads pushing out until later on in a quarter, in the match. So I think this is where Victoria will be making some interesting choices. So will Queensland on how much they want to win versus how much they just want to get through and be competitive, or play some nice brand of netball that they've been playing other days of the week.
Yeah, I have a question about that comment, because having played reserves yourself, like, why do you think that games start off a lot closer and then develop their way into becoming a slight margin?
I think in some cases it's some sides that have had the better training environment or the better fitness base, which can be some of the difference you see between states with their own open men's sides and open reserve sides, is the consistency of a full team that can run it out, and some sides that maybe have got their strong 7-8, but a couple of the other players aren't quite there. But I think we're seeing that slowly coming away from this division, and this is the true feeder division. 23s is obviously a great opportunity. There's some players who'll move up from there, but if you've got strong reserves competition as well, you've got a chance for those younger boys to get some experience before heading into the Opens. And playing against the bigger bodies does make a huge difference.
Yeah, so Queensland just with a couple of changes there. Freestone coming on into goalkeeper there for Schmar. And also looking at West coming onto the court at goal shooter.
And what we've seen a lot this tournament with the roll-in subs is a number of sides actually keeping their same side for the first 15. I think it's a way of consolidating, it's a way of settling. Victoria appear to be doing that at this point in time. And then often people start rolling subs even within the first few minutes of the second quarter as a bit of a let's keep some momentum, let's keep some settle. But your first quarter is your building block.
Yeah, you're right. It's interesting to see Queensland making some changes, but also that fresh leg could just be what it is that they need. That list management is important. Queensland, possibly if they want to make the final, do have another game tomorrow as well there, but James Robertson just clutching at his ankle, but seems like he's okay.
This has not been a great court for injuries across the few days. There seems to be a few people hitting the deck in various capacities. Let's hope we don't see this game play out that way.
Josh Smith finishing off for Victoria for an 11-7 lead, and it is their centre pass.
And unfortunately, ball just slipping through the hands of Aitken.
So we've also got Damien Gennaro coming on into goal attack as well, which hadn't happened a little while ago. Queensland finding West underneath the post.
And Gennaro is a great option for them, for Queensland in the goal attack position. He moves very well. He's a bit of a taller body.
Yep.
He's going to create a bit of difficulty for Simon Cartwright. But it means you've got a bit of a different mover out front.
And West, what a lovely shot there. Nice and confident, putting the ball through the ring for Queensland. I think Queensland will be pretty happy with this start, just being 2 goals down, thinking that they've got an opportunity to get through on this one. Josh Smith just really smart, finding the space out in the back to sink himself underneath the post and score the goal. There, great vision from Wade Aitken.
Yeah, that's where this attack from Victoria can really start ripping open. They can get some great separation in their goal circle, and then the long feeds can be on and not afraid to be given. Queensland often very patient out the front. They're doing that now. Just work at circle edge. They will just work a second ball. Oh, just slipping through the hands there. Took the eyes off it just at the wrong time. But this is where Victoria can burn people. That speed through the mid-court. Jake Dambrowski's flying through the middle.
Yeah, Caleb Meredith caught high up on the court there for that one, just allowing Steve McCallum the easy entry into the circle and finding the post there. Victoria seeming to have the same centre pass structure. James Robertson giving the ball off, getting the next pass.
That may be a conscious decision to run a couple of the same centre passes to help settle the side. So for people at home, sometimes as players out on court, you might go, let's settle. We've got a particular centre pass we choose to use as our settling centre pass. And it's a way of just resetting and just bringing tension back to yourself. We just noticed that Andrew Burgess has come on as goalkeeper, replacing Danny Lotes, almost coming up with an initial flying intercept in his first 30 seconds on the court. Just that patience again, what we talked about from Queensland. Not afraid to work it on-off. See if there's an option. Questionable kick out. I think he heard a whistle and thought it was for his own side there. Using the backspace well, Victoria. Just slightly overshoot, but Josh Smith somehow coming up with that rebound. Wasn't quite sure how he managed to get hands to that, but very well done. Minute and a half to go in the first quarter. The reserves men's division here at Australian Men's and Mixed Netball Championship. Victoria looking to bring the lead down. Just a late contact there from Freestone. Sometimes can also be a little bit of a psychological battle.
Yeah, we spoke about this one in the last game and trying not to let those easy penalties come in. It gives the goal a chance to reset or to have another shot if they've already put it up. It really would be something I'd probably want to keep out of the game if I was a Queensland coach.
And Simon Cartwright comes flying across. Just caught on the base start, and we see from Queensland.
Victoria just flying down the court there. Rob Gwynn just called for the obstruction on the outside of the circle. Ball sits with Victoria, who'll have plenty of time to get this ball to post. Still currently up by 5 goals, but looking to find the easy option. So Steve McCallum just putting the ball up, and that ball goes through the ring with 20 seconds to go as well. Victoria leading by 6.
And Steve McCallum, unfortunately, not able to think, but maybe a little bit of nice time wasting.
That's right.
We'll say it was a deliberate. Not allowing the centre pass to occur with that amount of time to go. 17 goals to 10. We lead into quarter time.
That's right.
Our daily sponsor, C&S Landscaping and Earth Moving, is ready to help you with all your home landscaping needs in Adelaide. They can remove excess soil, pull dig-outs, remove stumps, prep for new driveways and carry out any demolition work. They are locally based in Lonsdale. Give them a call anytime for a non-obligation quote. And welcome back to this afternoon's event, the Australian Men's and Mixed National Netball Championships for 2022. It's been a long time coming, and we're happy that you are joining us here for this men's reserve game on Court 2 between Queensland and Victoria. Victoria currently leading. Great start for them, 17 goals to 10. Matthew Blomley joining me here in commentary. Matthew, what did you make of the first quarter from both sides?
Queensland were nice and settled early. They were coming through with the ball. Then I feel like they dropped off slightly defensively. They got burnt by Victoria's speed in transition. And that's something I think they'll be looking at addressing.
Yeah, it definitely was a gap for me as well, the ability for Victoria to bring the ball through the court really quickly. Now, they have made a couple of changes, take down Browskis moves from wing defence into centre. We see James Sutton coming on into wing defence, which then means that James Robertson has gone to the bench, maybe still nursing an ankle injury sustained
And personnel rotation, I dare say.
Yeah, definitely.
And across the week, we've seen Victoria rotate their entire centre court consistently, not afraid to give someone that 5-minute burst, that 7-minute burst, or a whole quarter just to go, hey, here's your job and here's what you need to do. Queensland have been rotating this entire game as well and running a similar thing. I dare say that that's a strategy that both teams will continue to employ as this game goes on.
Yeah, we still have Freestone State on at goalkeeper, moving out to goal defence, it looks like. Can't tell, looks like James Schmar, I think. And then wing defence is still Rob Gwynn. Williams moving across into centre.
And you'll have to forgive us at some stage. It's been a couple of years for us with recognising faces from some of these other states. We both are currently Victorians.
We are.
Dan, obviously coming from South Australia originally, but you do see a couple of different personnel. We've often had some of the same teams against each other with only slight changes, but a couple of years out, we've missed out on some of that opportunity.
Completely right now. Dishmar there, it is in that goal defence, in at goal attack, and is Junero, and in at goal shooter is Dunphy as well, returning to the court after a really good start to the game. Was quite impressed. Probably a good choice there. Josh Clavarino making his return to the court here, replacing Josh Smith as well.
And provides a very different goal shooter option to Josh Smith. Josh Clavarino in this tournament has been cool, calm and collected in his goal shooter role. Provides just nice, calm holds, and it provides something for Steve Mack to work off as a goal attack. The pressure's starting increasing from Queensland from transverse to top of the circle. Feels like they're being told, we need a bit more intensity there. We need you to make sure the ball's not going in at the same speed. Give the defenders in the circle a chance to actually have a little bit of a hunt at it.
Correct. Now Luke Cameron returning to the court at goal attack. So Queensland not afraid to make the changes. Nice take as well as Queensland try and make their way through the court. Ball sitting with Jager and into Dunphy, who was found nice and easily under the post and is able to slot that one away.
Yeah, and Dunphy's going to be a fair target to work for Queensland. He consistently gives multiple options. He's not afraid to move. He's not a stationary goal shooter. And Josh Clavarino's shot just falling slightly short. First attempt of the game for him. Queensland coming up with the rebound. You can see Victoria are running a press here to try and slow down that transition. Queensland often run a press themselves, so do have an idea of how to work through it. But if you're slowing it up, you've got a chance for an intercept.
Yeah, agreed. And also that allows for the ball to be put up into the air, which is ultimately what you want to do inside that press-style defence.
And that is how the targeting goal shooter here for Queensland in Dunphy, he can get up in the air. He's not easy to get around. You've got to work hard, but it's not just on the ground. Just waiting for something to open up. Just not getting given a clear angle. And just Josh Clavarino just letting Jake know, maybe let's work a swing in that go pocket top. But it might have been a bit difficult to see with the amount of defense and the players that are on top of each other. Gennaro in wing attack provides another speedy option for Queensland. Just working the reset, seeing where the options are. Obstruction call for James Sutton. Told a little bit too close. Now this is an even quarter so far, 5 goals each. This is starting to shape out the way that the first quarter went, where it was quite even initially. It's who will actually break away or make the difference as the quarter goes on.
Yeah, great contest from Andrew Burgess on Dunphy, but Dunphy's able to just retain possession. Queensland still holding onto the ball, but unable to kind of penetrate through the Victorian defence there. Nice little tip.
Williams just forcing that a little bit. He went for the eyes down, but Simon Cartwright did have the eyes up on that one. just struggling a little bit to get it on circle edge here, Victoria. Just resisting making that drive at the moment. And the change of defence from the last quarter is working for Queensland so far. They're getting arms in there, but unfortunately a footwork call against Queensland gives Victoria another opportunity.
Yeah, Wade Aitken's just finding a little bit of space throughout the match so far onto the circle edge, really providing some drive for Victoria. Steve McCullum with the shot and sinks that one. Queensland just looking to slow up this centre pass, calm themselves down.
And a very slow step into the circle.
Correct.
I feel like there was possibly a delay in play going on there. Not maybe a deliberate delay in play, but a delay nevertheless.
Letting everyone know that we need to slow down. This goal is important.
Yeah, the old Carissa Dolwood approach to the centre. Just walk the centre pass. That's your chance to reset. That's a chance for the team to have a breath and know what's going on. Another footwork call for Queensland.
Possibly a bit harsh, but I do think both the feet decided they were going to go for a bit of a swivel at the same time, and that's probably what was seen by the umpire. Again, Aitken edge of the circle.
Yeah, allowed the bit of tightness going on the fly for an out of the circle, out of the third, intercept. Just allowed Wade Aitken to find circle edge easily as Josh Clavarino finds his first goal of the quarter.
Yeah, Ryan Friso just out of play for this one. But again, Wade Aitken, a circle edge, finding a lot of space. Maybe something for Queensland to look at shutting
I think he needs to stay grounded a little bit longer, work the feet, because his height will actually be an advantage in that.
Yeah.
He just needs that patience, needs to keep working with the hands over, do the groundwork, and then all of a sudden, he might find himself getting a couple of intercepts when he makes the choice to go for it.
Yeah, completely see what it is. Nice ball in there from Gennaro into Dunphy. Dambrauskas gets the call with that ball that's meant to swing onto the outside. Great body positioning there from Dambrauskas. Victoria, once again, as we've already spoken about, on the fly, down the court.
And Josh Clavarino managed to take that with an arm across his shoulder.
Yeah.
Terrifically done. And a great example of a defender going, you know what, I'm not sure I can get here, but I'm going to make it hard for you anyway.
Oh, I can tell from experience Caleb Meredith is definitely someone that's going to get his hands in everything. Make sure that you're aware that he is
he's such a contesting defender. He will go for anything. He's going to let you know he's there. And that's the thing that's going to potentially rattle the Victorian goalers this quarter.
Yeah, it will. And he's also a massive ball carrier. You can see him helping that ball come down the court. Queensland just go long to skip over the mess and find Dunphy straight along the goal line, and Dunphy scores there for Queensland. Score currently 26-17 in favour of Victoria, but it is Queensland's centre pass. And Cameron has the ball, but does step on. Advantage call from the umpire on the obstruction, and it is a turnover. And Dan Browse is called for the replay. Dunphy just comes off to the bench. We see West return to the court for Queensland in that goal shooter position. Dambrauskas looking to take that ball, but Gennaro nice and strong in the air.
Yeah, difficult to take that intercept against Gennaro because he is going to take that every time. Well, majority of the time, I should say. As we see him just come flying in front, just again, he got the clean hands to it. Unfortunately, didn't happen for his teammate.
Yeah.
And we've seen Josh Smith a couple of rare times out at wing attack this tournament, but it does provide just a different feeding option for the Victorians. And just a slight miscommunication maybe on where wanted, but brilliant hands from Circle. Queensland not afraid to look long, which that's a very traditional Queensland style of men's, is patient, not
skip.
and two-handed overhead across there. they'll wait for it as long as they need. Maybe got away with some footwork there as well, Josh Smith. Got a feeling he may have changed feet for what was the grounded foot. Victoria doing their best to clog up space, pushing all the Queenslanders to the one side of the court. Expect another long ball here.
Rob Quinn just getting the ball off. We now find Gennaro on the outside of the circle, and the ball is sitting in Queensland's possession, setting themselves up. Fantastic swing across just to find West along that goal line.
And James Sutton just struggling a little bit of dictating space, which is something he's normally so strong at.
Yeah, it is a strength of his, but probably not able to do it. Might find it a little bit harder on the taller body, possibly as well, of Gennaro. So something for Alexia McConnell to be thinking about there. But a nice little steal for Queensland as they bring the ball down the court, sitting with Meredith, finding Gennaro, and Victoria looking to make a change. Josh Clavarino coming off for Alex Nichols, someone I'm really excited to see up in this
so am
side.
I, Dan.
Came into us the year before COVID hit everyone and was meant to play his first national championship. So this is his first nationals. Such a bright talent, has improved so much in the space of a really short period of time. I'm so excited to see him out on court in the res division.
Yeah, unfortunately missed out on 23s because of COVID. And these are the type of players that this is the perfect division for, where you've maybe missed out on an opportunity there because of, injury in the past, but in this case, COVID, unfortunately not able to be there. But then given an opportunity here, getting to play against some other experienced goalers, gets the opportunity to build, get some minutes in the next couple of years, pushing for an open spot.
Yeah, definitely has a lot of athletic ability, is able to do a whole heap of work, can play multiple positions as well. So great work by him. Now Victoria pushing that one out to 10. We see O'Rourke return to the court for Queensland in centre. This is a better transition so far from Queensland, letting that one go, but a hand from the Victorian defence line gives Queensland the ball for the throw-in.
And just not afraid for a little sneaky give and go, gained about a foot or so, which does help with the heel pivot. And all of a sudden, there's a minute and a half to go, and this quarter has flown by. It shows how close this quarter's been. It's been a lot of intensity from both sides. It showed that Victoria were struggling a bit, transverse top of the circle and then on their feeds. But the slight change, maybe making a difference towards the end.
Yeah, nice little look then from Josh Smith. Bit of a risky pass across the circle. Freestone did just come out and try and have a crack.
Yeah, I felt like if he took that extra step on that and he started to pull out because he was afraid he was going to miss.
Yeah.
I think he could have gone through.
Yeah,
he had the angle on it.
He did. He did certainly was running that angle directly almost across at us. So, a little bit could change the direction of the game. But Josh Smith finding circle edge really easy once again. A nice use of the outside of the circle and great ball from Josh Smith, finding Nichols under the post there for Victoria, pushing their goal lead out to 11.
Now, I'd be thinking Queensland want to get at least another goal here to just try and bring that margin back slightly, have it something achievable for the second half.
That's right, yeah, just want to try and keep it to 10, but unfortunately, just an error there. Not a lot of time for Victoria.
And the terrific talk in from Alex Nicholl and goal shooter, just saying, wait a moment until he's come in.
The umpire's just cautioning.
Yeah.
Rob Gwynn.
At this point in the game, you obstruct that closely or contact that closely, you're going to get that brought into the circle.
Yeah, unable to finish that goal off, but Victoria does go into the half-time break here at Netball SA Stadium in the Reserves Division with a 11-goal lead, 30 goals to 19.
Thanking our weekly sponsor, Harrison's Kitchens. Looking for a new kitchen, a fresco kitchen, or a custom joinery item? Harrison's Kitchens and Cabinets are celebrating 20 years this year. 20 years of supplying and installing true custom joinery with you in mind. Kitchens and joinery. All budgets, many material options with many special rates for the South Australian netball community. Look them up on Facebook, Instagram or search up www.harrisonkitchens.com.au.
And welcome back to Netball SA Stadium. You are joining us here for the second half of the Court 2 battle in the men's reserve division between Queensland and Victoria. Victoria currently leading 30 goals to 19. Joining me in commentary for this game is Matthew Blomley, sitting right next to me. Matthew, Victoria took that one out by another 4 goals in that quarter. What was the difference again?
Difference again was they were converting where Queensland went. Queensland were throwing it a little bit more away. The pressure on both sides early, terrific. And that was obvious with Queensland that they were with it. Queensland just struggled with a couple of transition, a couple of force balls across the baseline, where Victoria transitioned that ball the other way so quickly, not giving Queensland a chance.
Yeah, agreed. We've just seen a couple of changes there. Gennaro into goal attack. O'Rourke is still on at centre, but I feel like when O'Rourke has been on the court, their transition through the court has been so much better getting to circle edge.
Yeah, he lets go of the ball.
He does. We've just helped them get through the court. Then I felt like that was the case at the end of the last half as well. And Queensland off to a really good start at the start of this one, getting the turnover, scoring the first 2 goals.
Yeah, Queensland have come out with purpose this quarter. I think very distinctly what they've got targets. They clearly want to come out strong, connect on each of these opportunities. Their attack line is probably one of their stronger ones that they're putting out there. Or certainly one of their better ones to face this Victorian lineup. I see O'Rourke just waiting for an option there. Nice and patient. Oh, manages to keep that ball in, flies straight through Andrew Burgess's arms. Looking for 4 in a row here. This is arguably the best start Queensland could be asking for.
Yeah, definitely. And then now just looking to push the first 4 goals. Once again, Dunphy on in goal shooter, Gennaro in at goal attack. Really probably working the best for Queensland. They seem to have the most flow with these two in the circle together as well.
And both nice shots.
That's right. Dunphy providing Queensland with a really nice solid target underneath the post, and I think Gennaro is just able to use his height and his good body as well. Fantastic steal there from Rob Gwynn.
And it was a nice patient setup from Victoria initially on that, but the ball not just placed in the right spot for where Alex Nichols wanted it. Queensland willing to work themselves closer to post. 5 goals to 0 this quarter. It brought the margin back to 6. This is an incredible start from Queensland. Oh. We've just had a slight clash occur up near the transverse line. We'll allow our trainers to take a moment there. It's probably a great opportunity for us to love the fact that we're in Adelaide.
Correct. Like the fact that we're having a national championship, that this is the 3rd go for Adelaide. So congratulations on getting a tournament up and running, ready to go. It looks like James Robertson is coming from the court. Maybe there's something about court number 2 today.
And that particular spot on court number 2. I'll tell you what.
But yeah, no, so super excited to be in Adelaide. Guess a bit gutted that I never got to play one really here.
Your true home nationals.
My true home. But growing up playing on court number 1 often, never really, except for a 2003 old school national championship when.
It was a very different
time then as well. But yeah, it's wonderful for Adelaide to be able to get the opportunity to host, for us to come over to South Australia from the eastern states and the group out west. It is nice to be in Adelaide, and the weather hasn't been horrible either.
No, the weather hasn't been horrible. Not that I've seen outside much in this time. But there is the first goal of the quarter for Victoria at the 11-minute mark. That's almost 4 minutes before they scored. That is very uncharacteristic and shows how strongly Queensland have come out.
Yeah, fantastic work there. Nice couple of changes in the back, just moving Schmart back in to goalkeeper and Rob Gwynn into the goal defence role. But Dunphy just being found really easily under the post this
this quarter. I think
they've really found that finesse on that ball into him, haven't they?
Yeah, I think
better connections.
Better connections. Having De Niro out at goal attack is probably helping. I think O'Rourke in centre is giving easy options. Fantastic triangle there from Victoria, just finding Alex Nichols under the post. Great work probably in controlling that from Steve McCallum as well, and recognising where those options were.
This patience that we've spoken about from Queensland, just bringing through, waiting for an option, not afraid to kick it back. And this is where De Niro is so valuable, just punches through. He saw that they were struggling, they were a bit wide. Whilst they were being patient, he went, you know what, there's the gap. I'm going to create something. And create he does.
That's right. Just has a really good ability to, one, I think his height helps him through the middle of the court, but he's quick and has some great speed and really good vision, as well as we see Victoria open themselves up as well and just find a nice easy ball into Alex Nichols also.
And this has been a great start for him for this quarter.
Correct.
3 from 3, finding nice range and clear when he wanted. Steve McCallum found him so easily. Terrific ball. And this connection in goals for Queensland, incredible.
Yeah, De Niro's really opening up the space, like to probably see Simon Cartwright dictate a little bit more on his movement patterns early, and that might actually stop the ability for him to be able to get free and try and work out where that next ball is going.
Alex Nichols can sink those. We spoke in a previous game about other players and their range and where they can put up from. You've got a penalty mid-range, you need to put that shot up.
Yeah, completely agree with you there, Matt, without a doubt. Fantastic work here from Queensland, though. They do seem to feel like they have a little bit of a roll and a little bit of momentum. Just looking at Alexia McConnell's face, probably not happy with the full start of her defenders. Maybe not so much in the attack line right at the beginning, but a couple of changes, it looks to have fixed that. But I'd really like to see some, dictation completed.
Yeah, I think she'll be frustrated with her defenders probably not doing exactly what's been asked there.
Yeah.
There would have been a clear instruction to do a little bit more.
Yeah. And I think there's just a lack of maybe some body pressure or doing some
and maybe positioning as well. Because what you've got to remember with Gennaro is he's forcing the change of direction. He's forcing you to change. And it's then finding the circle nice and open. The ever-quiet achievement, James Sutton, comes up with the intercept, unfortunately not able to release it to where he wants it to. Queensland with another opportunity here. Beautiful circle rotation. I'm really enjoying watching, as put a bit of a moz on the shot, but really enjoying this combination in the circle for Queensland.
Yeah, me too. The whole group does look really good, but a change is coming from the bench. I do think they're looking at maintaining players as well, but...
And this is that we spoke about at the start of the game, the sacrifice you potentially make a little bit to ensure you've got players for the time of the week when you need them, which is the next couple of days.
That is correct. Now, Queensland probably will fall into the fourth position after this one either way, from what I understand, which means they will play either ACT or Tasmania tomorrow in the fourth and fifth playoff, which also means that they will play New South Wales in the afternoon game, so not going to meet Victoria again. So maybe the possibility that they do want to take a win.
Yeah, it's nice to have a psychological battle leading into finals in terms of having that win ahead of it, so the other team knows that you have beaten them.
Yeah.
Finals a very different game. We all know that. It is a cliche, but it is so true at this championships. And for people at home who maybe haven't been away to an Australian Championships, being aware of what a grueling week this is. It is an absolute grinder week. You're playing 2 games a day. They're full 15-minute quarters, and there are bodies upon bodies upon bodies.
Yeah, that's correct. Welcome to men's and mixed netball nationals. Lots of netball to be played throughout the whole week for everybody. Well done once again to Adelaide for hosting this year.
But now we are coming to the pointy end really of the round. This is the last round for the men's reserves competition. There's still a couple more games left this afternoon throughout the rest of the championship, but everyone will be gearing up for their finals battles. One coming up in the under-17s this afternoon directly after this game at I think it's
one of the most exciting divisions is our 17s. I've been involved with the Victorian 17s, getting to help out on their bench with just a few tips and tricks, and tell you what, some of the players coming through are sublime.
Yeah.
They really are. And I can't wait to see them in a few years' time up in the likes of this division and what they'll be doing with their netball careers.
Yeah, it is super exciting. Lots of talent, not just from Victoria, but Queensland,
every single
South
state.
Australia, Tasmania, the ACT with a team in there as well. Like it's been fantastic to see all the young kids now finally out there as well. And this is the start of their career. COVID's probably damaged that for them a little bit too.
Yeah.
So this is the exciting thing for all of them.
There'd be very
as
few
well.
players in that division who have been away to a championship. Maybe if they're lucky as a youngster and now they're a top age.
Yeah.
But the future of men's and mixed netball in Australia is so bright, and I can't wait to see what opportunities those boys get in the future that unfortunately we could only ever dream of. Queensland, terrific feed. It was low release, but went high on its arc, and that's the feed that they actually work with.
It was. I think after the last call that happened on Dunphy, he was looking and thinking that maybe there was another call going to be called on him, but didn't quite happen. And now just Victoria only
just
up.
missing a circle feed, sorry.
That's all right. Up only by 5, but just finding Nichols underneath the post. Great patience from Victoria around the outside of the circle as well. But a nice little setup off the centre pass. Not too sure what the structure was there from Victoria. Was probably a little lacklustre in work rate.
It may have been a bit of a passive wall as opposed to an aggressive wall, where people at home, when we say passive versus aggressive wall, normally when we see teams run a wall, they jump the line. They're really out and they're really pushing up. Sometimes you can do it as similar sort of style, but it's more passive, where you get across the line, but then you start sinking back a little bit early, less pressure initially, but then you're moving into a formation.
Yeah.
It is 5 goals of difference, 39-34. We are still Victoria's way at this stage, but Queensland have had an absolute ripper of a quarter.
Yeah, a great start for Queensland. Has kind of just continued on. Really able to find the space at the moment. Again, Gennaro just running.
Oh, the backspace he was looking for. There was Dunphy wasn't aware he was there, I don't think. He's like, I better rip this in, but it was about to be a superb screen pass.
Yeah, correct.
And yeah, you can see Victoria are attempting a bit of a wall. They were clearer in their setup on that occasion. And this is the bit where Victoria can burn you. Straight through the middle drives that both Simon Cartwright and Jake Dambrauskas are so strong at.
Yeah, just adding a little bit of a mix up there from Dambrauskas. Just threw a dodge in, created a little bit more space. Oh, good flick back in there from McCallum, able to find Dambrauskas in that far pocket and then into the circle. Now Victoria will really want to make sure that they can convert this. It's still just 5 goals, the difference. Not a fantastic quarter from them, but putting that one out to 6.
The change of process appears to be working for Victoria so far. Let's see what Queensland do in response. How much Gennaro impacts, I feel, is going to be the difference here. Superb hold once again from Dunphy.
Yeah.
He's just finding great space, great position, but they're giving him the ball really well this quarter. As we see a nicely placed hold, the ball movement just allowing that space to open up.
Yeah, really stock standard Victorian play as well, just to move that ball on the triangle on the outside of the circle and open up the space.
And it is interesting when we talk about different states and their styles. There are distinct differences in many of the states and their styles. And with each one with its benefits and I suppose, weaknesses as well.
Yeah, very, very true to that. And players that come to the outdoor game from the indoor game, the use of the outside of the circle and how they choose to use it. Great touch there and work from the Queensland defence. Looking to bring the ball through the court. The possibility of getting this one back to a 4-goal game. Or Webster throwing that ball up in the air a little too high, but
just forcing a ball. There's plenty of time. That's been a rare off pass into the circle for Queensland this quarter.
Yeah, it has.
And certainly a rare off pass for Gennaro. But Simon Cartwright read that superbly. Oh, yeah. And the angle work. That is a great goal attack move.
It is a fantastic goal attack move, just to sit yourself on the outside, be that other space of the triangle and get it back. Now double teaming this one here. Just right at the end of the quarter. And Queensland not able to capitalise on that centre pass, leaving the scoreline with Victoria up by 6 goals at 3/4 time of this men's reserves game, 43 goals to 37.
Our daily sponsor, C&S Landscaping and Earth Moving, is ready to help you with all your home landscaping needs in Adelaide. They can remove excess soil, pull dig-outs, remove stumps, prep for new driveways and carry out any demolition work. They are locally based in Lonsdale. Give them a call anytime for a non-obligation quote.
And welcome back to the final quarter of this men's reserves game from Netball SA Stadium in Adelaide. Joining me in commentary, Matthew Blomley. Score for Victoria in this match, 43-37. Matthew, great quarter from Queensland in the last one, but a couple of changes to start. This last one looks like Dunphy's just coming off, maybe tweaked a little bit of an ankle. I did see him pull up gingerly at the end of the last quarter, so quite a possibility there, but fantastic quarter from Queensland in the third.
Yeah, it was a terrific start from Queensland and overall quarter from them as a third. It has resulted in a change this quarter for Queensland. but also an opportunity for a different combination that Victoria are going to have to adjust to. And again, we've spoken about this so many times today, but got to get players through this match.
Yeah, that's correct. Now, I do think Victoria just lucky with that one. Oh, I thought that came off Wade Aitken into that far side of the sideline, but great drive across the circle, Steve McCallum, and the shot not on target, but rebounded by Alex Nichols there, and he's able to sink that one through. Queensland centre pass to come.
Yeah, 38-45 at the moment. The margin is only the one the difference, but that's just centre passes at this stage. It is interesting to see what Queensland are thinking with some of those feeds, as members of the Victorian bench are trying to distract me from my commentary duties today. So do forgive me if I do have some moments where I may make an unfortunate comment.
Yeah, not helpful that we've been coaches, players, teammates of all of these boys sitting right near our commentary box looking to distract us. They actually have a game to focus on. Maybe that's where their attention should go to, because Queensland certainly not out of this one just yet, especially after the quarter that they've just had. But great drive from Wade Aitken into the pocket, and Steve McCallum across the top of the circle.
A bit off on his action on that shot.
Yeah, agreed, but strong up in the air from Alex Nichols. Not able to sink that one though, and Shamar comes up with the penalty for Queensland now with possession, trying to bring that one down through Rob Gwynn. And great work there from Queensland. Cameron.
Little short goal at a goal of pass. That's very characteristic of Queensland.
Very, very Queensland netball. Fantastic use. I know other states like to try and mimic those actions of that goaler-to-goaler work that they are so fantastic at doing. But a great jump there from Rob Gwynn, unfortunately.
It's always tough when you're coming from behind. I feel like the umpires often, even if you've come from a correct distance, may not assume that you have, just because of that little bit extra.
Yeah. So Danny Lotes called for the early contact there just on the outside of the circle, but that ball up in the air. I tend to agree with Gennaro on that one. Where was the penalty? I do think got taken
that
out of his hands.
Maybe the goaler coming out in you. It's a contest every day of the week for people who have played in defence in any capacity.
I think a contact is a contact. It doesn't matter when it happens. I'm definitely not one of the protecting goals. Great, smart move there, just off the goal line, throw in.
And using the ball as the movement
That's
to
right.
get the defenders just to move that little bit away. We see Josh Smith returning into the game, back in his
Goal attack.
goal attack
spot.
position where we're more familiar with him. And it is hard to believe that this is Josh Smith's first reserves championship. He's been in the side on a couple of other opportunities, but wasn't able to be part of it because of COVID being a major aspect of that.
Yeah, that's right. He did age out at the last 23s championship as well with a title, but really hasn't had the opportunity since to play up in that reserves division, and also a fringe opens player himself as well. But fantastic vision there from Queensland.
And Andrew Burgett's reading that like an absolute book, but then having the moment of, is this worth contesting and maybe pull in a contact just based on the other movement, or should I just maybe pull out of it?
Victoria making a change. Josh Claverino coming on, but that probably really didn't help their turnover.
No, the timing of it was curious. I think maybe not the right time to run off as a goal shooter when the ball is heading in your direction.
I think it was a silly error from Queensland that then caused the unexpected quick steal for Victoria. But that is a hard ball. Well done with keeping that one in the court there.
It's a coach killer, that pass.
Queensland just swinging the ball across the circle, and
Williams thinking he was pulled for a contact. And it was a great contest on the edge. Arms were there. He thought maybe he'd been called for pushing off, but it was the fact that he just stepped offside in that moment. And Josh Clavarino coming on and finding some range early.
We see Caleb Meredith returning to the court now at wing defence for Queensland, replacing Webster.
And not an unfamiliar position for Caleb either.
Correct.
An interesting footwork call for Josh Clavarino. His quick little feet just not right for the umpire. We are seeing Dunphy getting ready to come on as shooter, which I think whatever was tweaked is no longer tweaked.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure if that's the correct tense for tweak.
But a great hold from Gennaro there, just getting himself into a nice spot. Smart about removing Andrew Burgess out of the contest and finding the goal. Queensland only down by 5 with 9 minutes to go. Smart ball from Cameron into Gennaro, and the margin is now back to 47 to 43. Dunphy also returns to the court for Queensland. But nice, easy passage to the post from Victoria.
Look, we've still got the 5-goal margin. It's what it had been for a little bit in the earlier quarters. Just see how this goes and how this trails back. I dare say there's not going to be much in it.
Yeah, Victoria really just need to be smart with each possession that they get. They are still up by a few turnovers, but
trying to run quite a smart setup there, the back space with the goalless screen, but then just the finesse on that ball just needed a little bit more.
Yeah. Smart from Josh Smith, just clearing out the space, setting himself up. Everyone's a bit ball hungry and ball focused, and he's just able to slip into the back of the circle underneath the post.
And it's great to see Victoria with a few different options at goal shooter that play very different styles of game to each other. So we've had a couple of different shooters come through the Rezzies over years. We had the likes of good old my friend Gloria, Christian White in goal shooter for the last couple of years with some other options. So I know that Gloria will appreciate that shout out. But also the stalwart of this Rezzies side for a long time, Clint Allwood, was a mainstay in goals. That's a big change having those couple of years away.
Yeah, definitely is a big change. Also, the look, Victoria has a plethora of excellent goalers there to choose from, but fantastic work from Queensland in driving that ball and getting that ball into Dunphy under the post. Again.
And Victoria have players that can cause a turnover, but that's what they're going to need to do this quarter. At the moment, they're not causing turnover.
Yeah, and I guess what this does set up is the possibility of Queensland gaining some confidence, and they've got that game tomorrow and then a second game in the afternoon, which will be against New South Wales as well. And New South Wales might be looking at the result from this morning and then this one and saying, oh, we're not as...
Queensland, New South Wales are a very tough opposition this year.
Yeah, correct.
They've had various levels of their reserve side where they had really strong ones and some years not quite as strong, but certainly a strong side playing out this year and pushing for that championship once again.
But yeah, Queensland will be able to take some certain positive vibes into tomorrow's games and the finals competition.
Beautiful off the circle feed, but wanting someone back on the circle for him. He's looking at it and going, and his coaches are just yelling at him, just put your shot up. You can put that in. You got this. And I tend to agree.
Yeah, there is that opportunity. Do kind of understand what he was saying. No one was coming to him when he spun himself around. Does become slightly frustrating as that goal when you're not...
You want your mid-court on the top of the circle.
Yeah.
Or at the very least, if they've been off the circle, to get back on the circle.
Yeah, just being a nice option. Great drive there from Josh Clavarino. A nice high shot, not able to sink it, but Josh Smith in the right spot for the rebound.
And that's a good goaler understanding there, is the read of his shot looks like it's going slightly off. Josh Smith got himself in a terrific position early.
Gennaro.
Our favourite goaling combination for Queensland is back together. I think this will help provide a little bit more drive for Queensland. That they brought out the start of the quarter for the first maybe 5 minutes, but not this last 5 minutes.
Yeah, Gennaro just literally tearing up the court at the moment for Queensland. Would be very happy with his own performance, I would think.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, and in terms of what he's bringing to the team, so not just individual performance, but what he's doing as part of the team.
Yeah, correct, Victoria now. Josh Clavarino with the shot on goal, pushing the margin, what appears to be out to 7 goals. There, Victoria leading this quarter just by 1. Danny Lotes coming up with the tip there, but
I've got a feeling it might have been a smidge close on it, but you take those ones when you can, especially when they're far side of the court.
Yeah.
And it's a bit more difficult for the umpire to see. Great follow from Josh Clavarino. Bit short on the initial shot. And we see O'Rourke come back into the centre for Queensland. This will provide a bit more drive through that middle, which had just gone missing for that little bit for Queensland, as we've got 3.5 minutes to go. And that is classic Caleb Meredith.
It is fantastic work there from Caleb Meredith. And great vision looking down the court. Fantastic movement here from Queensland. Just not able to find that next drive. But Gennaro opening up the court. Fantastic dodge here. And looking into the circle was O'Rourke to find Dunphy, who now has what looks like the easy layup, but constantly out of play, Victoria. Giving him the read.
And I think part of it is it's just hard contest in there. He's so strong in the air still. They're just attempting to contest with him, and it's difficult. A bit of a spatial defence set up from Queensland going on. Just working and clogging up space, moving it all back. Even with the centre now out of play, you can see that there's a 4 essentially set up through the centre third and just waiting, people ready to have a go at the ball.
Yeah.
But as soon as that middle opened, Victoria able to control through there. So I would have liked to see a bit more closing off and not allowing that player to come through. 13 goals to 11 this quarter. It's only just Victoria's way this quarter if we're breaking it down quarter by quarter.
Yeah, just 2 minutes to go. Once again, this match has flown by as well. Queensland will want to make sure that they can just maybe chase and find that momentum into the end. But Dambrauskas, a nice little steal as Victoria move their way down the court. Clavarino not really setting himself up into a solid, easy option as that goal shooter, probably stunting the Victorians' movement to goal. But now with the setup on the outside.
And just adjusting there to the different hole, having been a strong front hole, but then given a different angle to create something there, Josh Clavarino. And I would like to ask him, where is my drink bottle? I feel like he did take it away from me earlier today. He'll understand what I'm saying there. Simon Cartwright, unfortunate with the contact there.
It's just a wry little smile from Simon.
Yeah, I think he knew what he'd done. Oh, goaler to goaler, superb.
Yeah, even the mid-court to goaler type movement pattern that Queensland are known for, and just the ability to give that ball into the stomach area.
And if in doubt, give it to the guts, right?
That's right.
It's harder for hands to go there. You've got more protection, and at the very least, it may bounce off there into your hands.
Great work from Freestone just to prevent Victoria from scoring there. Queensland will want to try and prevent this goal from going in. But fantastic ball movement from Victoria to find Josh Smith under the post to score that one now, taking it to a 58-49 lead with just 10 seconds to go.
Josh Smith tries to
almost
grab
comes up with the great intercept.
Oh, well. Time's being held.
And almost sinks the shot from out of court, the centre. What a match.
Yeah,
58-49.
That's correct. Fantastic game there from both parties. Quite enjoyable to watch, Matt. I don't know what you thought, but I certainly enjoyed that outing.
Look, I'm very excited if they do have a rematch in finals to see how it will go, because both teams left a few things in their pocket, I think, and their opportunity when it comes to finals, it's anybody's game. Brilliant match of reserve men's netball at this point in the Australian Championship. Thank you for joining us, and hopefully we'll see you again soon.
Thanking our weekly sponsor, Harrison's Kitchens. Looking for a new kitchen, a fresco kitchen, or a custom joinery item? Harrison's Kitchens and Cabinets are celebrating 20 years this year. 20 years of supplying and installing true custom joinery with you in mind. Kitchens and joinery. All budgets, many material options with many special rates for the South Australian netball community. Look them up on Facebook, Instagram, or search up www.harrisonkitchens.com.au.